hear that?
Made up movies, made up movies.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Made up movies, made up movies. Yeah, 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 yeah. Made up movies. Movies in your face now. Come and get an earful. Made up movies, made up movies.
Hello, and welcome to Made Up Movies. I am your host, Matt Shore, and with me, as always, is the Michael Myers to my Laurie Strode. It's Mike Kolar.
Thanks. Thank you for calling me a serial killer.
I just meant you're tall. It's a compliment.
Tall and in an insane asylum?
You've got an iconic face that we never see, or maybe we do.
I have to hide it because it's so grotesque. That's
Is that the deal? Or is it just...
I don't know.
I didn't watch that new one, by the way, Halloween Kills. I think it's on HBO or something now. I haven't seen that one.
I did not like it as much as the previous
There's a
David
Cleveland
Gordon Green one.
comic.
That was the first one.
Yeah, I saw that first one. I thought it was fun. It wasn't scary, but it was like,
Yeah.
I thought it was a well put together movie. There's a Cleveland comic, Tim Wolfe, who's very funny and who hated Halloween Kills. Like,
Really?
just
like
hates he saw it, I think, like the week it came out, and like just every post for that. Like, normally he just does silly puns, and like that week was just like fucking it was just like spoiler after spoiler, but like about how much the movie sucks. And I was just like, I think out of solidarity with him, I'm just not gonna see it, I guess.
I mean, honestly, I remember being bored. I couldn't even tell you what it's about, so that's not a good sign.
Yeah.
I know Michael Myers lived through a fire. Spoiler alert. But
Right. Well, they
What
put it
doesn't-
out, right?
nothing
That's
kills
like
that guy.
that was like the opening thing or the trailer moment where they're like,
Yeah.
"Firefighters, we forgot you exist." It's like, well, okay,
You
sure.
can't die. You just can't
You
die.
can't
He's a little
die.
jerk.
There'd be no movie. There'd be no movie.
You can't kill him. He can't die.
So this is Made Up Movies. We take suggestions from our listeners for movies that might not exist, but we review them like they do
Yes.
through the power of our magic transdimensional goggles, which we wear. We put them on. They go beepity boop bop bop boop bop, and then we use
Which
our
we
bingo.
made too. We never talk about how cool it was that we made these.
Well,
They're pretty,
yes. I got some parts from a back alley dealer. We sort of jury rigged them together with our soldering iron, and which we got from some of our friends who are in a bunker. You got really good at soldering when we worked on that previous
I
show.
was really good at soldering. Yeah, that's true. I'm very good.
And also welding sounds weird when you do it as a sound effect. So soldering is a better sound effect to use for welding. It just reads.
It does the same thing. That's the
It's
nice
the
thing.
same
about it.
thing. This is a little bit in the weeds, but yeah, we jury rigged these goggles. Everyone at home, if you've listened to episodes of our show, you know that our goggles sound a little bit something like this. We kind of debate what they look like, and if you're an artist, why don't you send us some fan art at Made Up Movies Pod on Twitter? Draw those goggles for us. I don't care if you're Picasso or Lemon Grab from Adventure Time, who's not an artist, but it was the second name I thought of for some reason. So just draw. I always pictured them like Anakin Skywalker's goggles. Kolar said they looked like swim goggles, I think you said.
Yeah, they look like swim goggles to me, but what do I know?
I'm a person, and my name is Anakin.
I'm just holding them in my hand. What do I know? What do I know what they
Chescosa
look like?
Bulba. So that's what I always say.
Now this is podcasting.
Yes, exactly. I posted
Yep.
that same thing earlier, trying to get
Really?
some SEO off of. Yeah, I did on our Twitter account. I mean, it's going to be
Oh,
like
man.
2 weeks past or 3 weeks past. So people are going to have to really dig to find it. But I did that because Obi-Wan just came out. And so
Right.
we're I put it in quotes and I said, now this is podcasting a dash Obi-Wan Kenobi, hoping someone will just be like, you son of a bitch. That guy who submitted that Star Wars one is going to be so mad at us.
Obi-Wan didn't say that!
He's in jail right now because one of our biggest fans is like a private investigator or something and is just like, I picked up on the hidden signals. He's been in court this whole time. Opposing counsel, Michael Douglas, used his amazing mouth powers to vocalize a defense or a prosecution. Oh man, now I can't stop thinking about that bit from last
Michael Douglas's amazing mouth powers. It's like the name of a ska band.
So it's either Mustard Plug or Michael Douglas's amazing mouth powers.
You can shorten it to MD, MP.
No, let's just call it Solar Powered Nightlight. There's a deep cut from Walsh Jesuit High School.
Shout out to Walsh Jesuit.
Walsh Jesuit High School!
Oh,
where my Walshies at?
Got the gigs. I got the gigs today. That's fun.
Oh, I like them gigs. Giggity.
I'm just in a good mood. Matt, before we go on, you know how you were hiring people like Calendar and Dee Dee without like asking me?
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, I do that a lot. There's a lot of stuff I put on our quote-unquote budget that I don't really tell you about because, there's a lot of, ladies on OnlyFans I'd like to support and our company
right,
kitty, so I do that. The bigger, I don't want to be crass, but the bigger the knockers, the better, as we say.
It's a little crass. But anyway, I got tired of Dee Dee constantly stabbing me.
You're kind of high maintenance, but go on.
Okay, well, anyway, I hired my own sort of bodyguard to protect me from Calendar and Dee Dee
really?
When I was in the other dimension last time. If you want to, I'll bring him in. It's he's a little short. He's a little weird. Okay. His name's Ribble T Pibis. Ribble T, can you come here?
Ribble.
What's all this then? Is this the one you were talking about? The one with the long arms?
No, Ribble T, that's Matt. Dee Dee is the one you have to worry about.
Don't worry. What's this one then? He smells nice.
Ribble T Pibis? Is it?
Yeah, that's Ribble T Pibis. It's great to meet you, love. Why don't you give us a kiss still on the lips?
I'm not going to give you a kiss. I don't.
Give him a
you
kiss.
Look kind
man.
of like a bullfrog.
That's how they say it. That's how he says hi. He's just.
Give us a kiss, man.
So is Ribble T from? Is he Cockney? Or is that just how they sound in the other dimension? I'm
from Australia, dude. It's this one.
Oh, all right.
He's from Australia, I guess. It sounds like. I don't know.
I mean, throw another prawn on the Barbie. No, it's
Realty. Your accent's a little strange. I don't know.
So this is your bodyguard? Because
I will protect Mr. Cold from the likes of you, the one with the long arms. Yeah.
It's just that what the long arms. I
think he thinks you have long arms.
Yeah, his arms is long. He's longer than normal.
I don't know if that's true. I feel like they're
I don't
normal
know if that's
length.
true.
I feel like they're okay.
It's true, trust me.
I don't want to be rude, but Ribble T seems to slobber a lot when he's talking.
He put napkin under me, I'll be fine.
Were those words? Because that just sounds... That was a lot of slobber. There's like a puddle forming underneath Ribble T.
I'm a bit of a mess sometimes. We tell you what, so if I take you outside, and I give you I will just jerk you off a little bit.
Ribble T?
Wait, what?
What?
I mean, I appreciate the offer. I've been waiting for Calendar or Dee Dee to say that same thing.
Ribble T, I invited you here to protect me from Matt's hires and not to jerk him off.
Yeah, but what if I did do?
Look, I've been, like I said, I've been using a lot of our company kitty to look at OnlyFans. I'm kind of hopped up right now. I
You're
don't have.
still you want it? He's already ready to go. Then yes,
I don't know. It's not appropriate for our show. Our show is kind of a family show.
I got soft hands there. Take a look, see.
Okay, get away from my pants. I can feel you already trying to rustle around down there.
I hired you to take care of Dee Dee, and Dee Dee's not here, so you're not really like doing anything.
Yeah, Dee Dee, I don't want to. I kind of lured Dee Dee into a Meowth's pet carrier with a coloring book.
She's trapped in there.
Yeah, they's trapped in there.
If they's trapped in there, I can go in there and jerk them off then.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That might not be a bad idea, to be honest. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't...
well, just point me to the direction of the cage, then I'll be right on my way there. If that's
Can I
okay
have,
with
like,
you,
a
Mr.
sidebar with
Colo.
you real quick about this? I don't know about this Ribblety Pibbis.
He's a little, I didn't realize he wanted to jerk you off. That's a little forward.
That's the part I liked, but the rest of it, I feel a little... I don't know.
So you're the one's uncomfortable now. That's how the tables have turned. Not getting.
I mean, I just feel like it's just we've got a lot of expensive podcasting equipment. We've got the transdimensional goggles here. If you really want someone who's slobbering all this saliva, it's like a swimming pool.
He is making a mess. He's gonna ruin everything. Hey, Ribblety.
Yeah, what's there, Mr. Colo?
If you could, why don't you just take a break outside and Matt will get ready for you here to so you can.
Yeah. I just I have a very sensitive routine I like to do before a stranger takes me to Pound Town. So yeah.
All right, well, I'll be outside then, waiting for you, getting my hands on great stuff for you there. And Mr. Colo, you tell the one with the long arms I'll be out back.
Okay.
Okay, Ribblety.
I can hear you, so you don't need to relay that. But
Sometimes I don't know. You're very tall, so
I'm not. I'm just regular. Okay, see ya.
You got a bit of a. All right, see you then later.
Yeah,
you'll be on my way.
Yeah, you'll just.
I didn't know. I mean, it's nice that he didn't stab you. That's a plus.
I don't know. There's something about Ribblety Pibbis that just makes me uncomfortable, and I didn't bring. I just want to be clear. I didn't really hire Calendar, so to speak. Calendar is the god of scheduling, and is a close personal friend of mine because we met because I coach sometimes as part of my community service for his lacrosse team. So at Dee Dee I did hire, but I mean, this is fair. This is fair. Yeah.
I mean, if it makes you feel better, I have not paid him yet, so that's good.
I kind of want to pay him. It feels like he's going through a lot right now.
Wants to jerk you off. I didn't see that coming.
I've never felt simultaneously disgusted
he's
and
gross.
Empathetic at the same time. It's just
weird,
he reminds me visually of when that guy takes off his shirt in Total Recall, and there's that creature growing out of his chest, Quato or whatever.
Quato,
that's
pretty much
Ribblety. And I want to be clear: most people in the other dimension, where we get our movies from, that they look human.
Yeah, he said he was from Australia, and I don't think everybody in Australia.
I'm pretty sure that's not. I mean, that's not really what I picture Australians as.
Maybe in a different dimension they look like that. I don't know because they're so close to the equator. I don't know how.
It is kind of what I picture Bulgarians like, but that's
Don't get me started. But
we don't really want to get in trouble with them again.
Yeah, I mean he could be Bulgarish.
Well, let's not go there. We got a fax from. It came from the beeper of the president of Bulgaria or whatever. I mean, they're kind of behind on the...
That's so sad. It's just...
yeah, I said just email me, and I had to explain what it was. It was like...
It's a series of tubes, President Bulgaria.
But yeah, you know what? Let's just agree we're not going to hire anybody with that. This taught me a lesson. If this is what it's like when Dee Dee comes in and stabs you, then, Yeah, I guess I just didn't realize that you think of being stabbed by Dee Dee as an equivalent to me getting sexual release.
See, I didn't. He said he was going to protect me. He didn't say how, and I didn't realize that was his sort of.
Well, I guess it makes sense. It's like sort of a deterrent. I can't really
You're not gonna
hire
be mad at
anyone
him.
to
He
stab
wants to-
you when I'm distracted.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Let's just. I guess I'm still thinking about that, but let's just get to the movie of the week here. We got a suggestion from Elton Reads a Book a Week, which I believe is a podcast or just someone who proclaims their hobbies on
Good
Twitter.
on Elton. That's a lot of books.
That's a lot more than the average. I think that person is actually bringing up the national average for book reading in America just by doing that.
I haven't read a book since we got free pizza for it, so it's been a long time.
You talking about Book It? At
Yeah.
Pizza Hut?
Yes, a long time ago.
That's a way. I mean, does audiobooks count as a book? Because if so, I've read a couple. Sort of.
That doesn't count. that's just a podcast.
Darn it. Well, podcast is better than a book because maybe you get to learn about a movie you ain't seen yet. That's
True. I agree.
that's good learning for your mind thoughts.
I wish I read.
Yeah, I wish I read more. So they're good talking with the words. All right, so this one's from Elton Reads a Book a Week, and it's called Tuesday the 28th. I guess it's kind of like a spin-off series they were trying to do with Friday the 13th. It's called Tuesday the 28th, and it's about a struggling real estate agent who has to sell Camp Crystal Lake, the place where Friday the 13th took place, following the murderous events involving Jason Voorhees.
Oof.
So that's a hard job, right?
That's a tough sell, yeah.
All right, let's put on our magic transdimensional goggles for a second and watch this movie real quick. Now, I have been experiencing mild brain difficulties as a result of these goggles lately. But I'm sure that won't happen this time.
Yeah.
So let's just put them on now and watch the movie Tuesday the 28th. A flick. Oh, okay. It's all beaming directly to my brain now.
Okay. Oof.
Okay.
Yeah, that's new. That's new. I got blood in my eye this time. That's a new
Oh my
one.
god. Your one eye is just completely red.
Yeah, it hurts. Ow.
Well, I'm sure that'll go away. Maybe we should have
something
bought
new.
the store model on these instead of just, fiddling with them with the soldering iron and a screwdriver.
We got to save money. We have so many characters to hire,
I know. I mean, they are very real people, but they are quite the characters.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's what I meant by that.
That's what you meant.
Yep.
I know. Everything we say and do is real on the show. Made up movies. Submit your made up movies, like Elton Reads a Book a Week, which is a real movie we just watched, but is also made up. There's nothing confusing about it. At Made Up Movies Pod on Twitter. All right, so we just watched this one Tuesday the 28th.
It's pretty. I don't know. I thought it was good. Honestly,
I actually kind of enjoyed it too because I thought it would be more horror-y, but it also was kind of comedic.
Yeah, it was funny. It's like I don't know if there's a whole because this is like directly after the first one, so I don't know if there's a whole like in this dimension like Jason in space doesn't exist and these do.
I don't know because I'm not sure when this one came out.
Yeah,
because it felt a little bit. I mean, the original Friday the 13th was like really film grainy, and this felt a bit more modern. So maybe this is like a retcon, like direct to DVD thing or something. But
maybe.
Like it felt very much like it felt like a little bit more modern. It almost felt like an early 2000s movie in this like liar kind of way.
Yeah, they did had a liar vibe. It's just not something I normally say.
It's like it takes place in the quote unquote real world, but it felt just a little bit slapsticky, and that's weird for a movie involving Jason. I guess there was that Jason Takes Manhattan movie, or was that Muppets Take Manhattan?
That's Muppets
Jason,
Taking Manhattan. But yeah, those are easy to
There
confuse.
was a Jason movie where he's in New York, and it was like real bad, though, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's so
pretty
many
sure.
Jason movies, and I have
There
not
really are.
seen them all, unfortunately.
Now,
Or
to
films.
clarify, in the original Friday the 13th, and this is a spoiler in case you want to watch this old movie, so maybe skip ahead a second. But I can never tell.
This 40-year-old movie.
I know, it's hard, but it's like sometimes people are like, you gotta count for all situations online. Sometimes I'm like that. Like, I have a friend who's watching Deadwood right now, and I'm like, oh, I really do want to start watching Deadwood, so I don't want to look at your tweets right now. And they're like, it came out a long time ago. It's like statute of limitations. But I'm like, oh, but I kind of want to watch it. I don't know. So it's weird. But yeah, in the twist, I guess, of the original Friday the 13th, or I don't even know if it's a twist, but it's not Jason who's the killer in the original Friday the 13th. It's Jason's mom avenging the death of Jason.
Yep.
But then at the end of the movie, I'm pretty sure Jason
grabs a lady out of a boat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
But it's still like child Jason. So like Jason Voorhees, the hockey masked killer, doesn't really get going until the one after part 2, right?
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah. As far as I know, like I said, I've seen them all at some point, but it's sort of like a fever dream.
Right.
It's like
It's
I
been-
get them
it's been a
confused with the
while.
Halloweens too.
In the remake of Friday the 13th, it's just straight up Jason, though, just like slaughter.
Oh yeah.
Right?
I mean, Jason. Yeah, he loves to slaughter. That's what he loves. He loves vengeance.
And Jason is in this movie too, in Tuesday the 28th. But he's not as menacing. He's almost played for laughs in this movie.
It's
Like-
he is he's a bit sort of. It's fun.
Yeah,
And I think
it's
the
like
liar vibe comes from the main guy being so like the main realtor who's trying to sell Crystal Lake being so like animated and sort of goofy and neurotic. I don't know.
he kind of reminded me of Paul Rudd a little bit.
A little bit. He's very likable. Yeah.
He was sort of just like, his whole thing is just that he's got to get rid of this property, and everybody, he keeps trying to sell it to people from out of town. I've got a big buyer from out of town, he keeps saying, because everyone local knows it's the place where everybody gets fucking slaughtered.
Place? Are you crazy?
That's the place where Jason kills fucking people. It's the place. Isn't that the place where Jason Voorhees died and then came back from the dead?
There's that bit where he constantly keeps trying to change the name, and he changes it to Rock Lake, and then he tries to change
Rock
it to
Lake.
Agate Stone Lake. He's just
Agate Stone Lake. Yeah.
Come on.
And then, but like, again, Jason is like the comic foil of this movie, because in this movie, for whatever reason, well, I guess they kind of explain it later, but Jason doesn't really want to kill this realtor.
yeah. It's very strange.
Well, it's strange, but there is sort of a twist, which is that, like in the first movie, the mom is the killer, right?
Right.
Well, this is, the realtor is like a second cousin of the Vorhees family.
Don't kill family.
He's got this family. He's like an Irish person. He's very clannish when it comes to family, and he's just like, he's like, I'm not going to kill you, but I won't save you either. It's a real Batman Begins situation. He's just sort of like,
to the universe to decide.
I think if I'm gonna read Jason as a character for a little bit, I would say that Jason kind of likes the solitude of the lake. I would not be surprised.
He doesn't want malls and stuff to be built on his private lake. I get it.
Right,
It's like,
right. Because the only people who are interested in buying the land want to tear it down to build like shopping centers or like luxury resort type places, get rid of the old school outmoded log cabins and stuff, and put up, turn it into like a Margaritaville style resort.
Yep.
And just the thought, there's a part where one of the potential buyers, who's like this like rich Texan dude with like a big cowboy hat, comes in and he leaves brochures, and Jason starts thumbing through them and
getting madder
and he just
madder.
gets so angry. They play Jason kind of like a cartoon Frankenstein in this one. He's just like, ah! And he just keeps getting madder and madder at this situation. And I kind of empathize with him. And it's like a part of me wishes throughout this movie that they would just see eye to eye but it's like, I feel bad for the realtor too, because like he needs to make this money because, you know, he's got a family of his own, right? Or he's trying to start a family or something. I'm not sure. They're like barely in it. But
he got the land. He thought he was getting a good deal, basically, unbeknownst to him. Or I guess not unbeknownst to him, but he assumed that,
something,
you know,
with, like the will or something.
Yeah.
Like
he's like, well, I can sell this and, you know, move out of this town finally. Basically, is what he wants to do.
Right, he wants to move out of the stink of being part of the murder family too.
Right, he's a little bit of the murder family, and he doesn't want to be the murder family anymore. Which I get.
This went by like really fast in the first 10 minutes, and since we watched the movie at like 7 times speed, and your eye was exploding, and I could sort of see it through the goggles.
Yeah, it's still funny.
I couldn't really tell what was happening, but it felt like to me that is this accurate that there was some sort, like, it's really confusing because it's like they seem to imply that the realtor ended up he's not just selling the property on behalf of somebody else. He's the owner currently of the property too. He just happens to be a realtor, and that's like why it ended up with him, because he's related to the Vorhees clan, and like that means he got the land as part of some settlement with the family because of Jason's death after all this shit came to life.
Yeah.
Or light. Which also doesn't make perfect sense because the mom killed a bunch of people. So
it doesn't
think that would be a net.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily. I guess it's like I was going to say prima nocta, but that's not right. It's like, well, if you kill somebody on the land, that land is now yours, I guess. Ancient
There's
castle
no
doctrine.
rule that a dog can't play basketball. It's in that same book of the state legislature. Right,
and
there.
I didn't necessarily question it because it's like, oh, that makes sense. Jason lives in the lake, so it must be his house.
Yeah, that is funny. There's that shot of him every morning. Jason walks out of the lake.
Yeah,
like every morning, just like covered in like local kelp and stuff, and like at one point, he's like literally reading an old newspaper as he walks dripping out of the lake.
It's his home down there, and I think that's probably why he's probably. I mean, they're going to drain it, and then where will he live? He can't live in the murky water anymore.
What I don't understand is that like he's an undead spirit, right?
Yes. I mean, that is. Yeah.
How is he so big if he died as a child?
Well, I think a lot of it. Maybe he's just like a bloated corpse. Is part of it. Like he's been in the water so long.
There's that scene where we have an underwater cam and he's cuddled up with his own child skeleton, or I thought it was his child skeleton. Maybe it is just another skeleton of someone else he's killed.
It could have been. I think it was supposed to be his.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was his own skeleton. Yeah.
There is a framed photo of his mom next to him there too, so I thought that was like his seabed, I guess. I don't know.
It's his home.
It's a lake,
and it's like, I mean, this rich Texan wants to come in and drain it and make like you said, a Margaritaville. So it's like, what's he supposed to do? He has to retaliate. I get it.
Right. I mean, it's basically like an 80s summer camp comedy version.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna close the lodge.
Yeah. This is the community center.
The community center. Yeah.
Look, all Jason wants is to punish. And I think, like, that's the reason I empathize with Jason, is because, like, the movie begins with your typical, like, horror scene where it's night and some kids are breaking onto the land, and they're like, "Hey, this is the place where all the murders happen. Ooh, you scared?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Shut up, shut up." And Jason's about to kill these people, and then the realtor shows up and ruins the kill.
Yeah.
And Jason gets like blue balls for kills. And so they're just constantly screwing each other over. It's like a buddy, it's like Tommy Boy with Jason and his cousin.
But it's like you said, it is because the Texan is the only realtor, because at some point Jason, the realtor opens his door and he finds the Texan's head in his own Stetson hat, and Jason's there like shrugging in the background, and it's like
like, you brought this on yourself.
You brought
buddy.
this on yourself, man. This is I told you not to sell my land, and this is how I deal with things. I'm sorry.
And
I'm not a talker. I can't talk through things. I'm Jason.
But they do try to have conversations. But but the realtor is scared to death of this like unholy spirit or whatever.
As he should be, as well he should be, yeah.
And so he can't have face to faces with him, or face to hockey mask, I guess, with him. He has to like talk to him through walls or like through partitions and stuff. He can't make direct eye contact. Like, he can't acknowledge he's real.
Yeah.
Like, he feels like he's going crazy. But of course all this really happens.
Well, he has like the dinner party for potential investors, and Jason comes in and obviously takes them all out, but he doesn't. He doesn't take him
scenes.
out. What'd you say?
That was one of the best scenes.
Yeah, it was great.
I mean, it was just like kill after kill of Jason just like macheteing all these people.
Right, and you think he's going to kill the realtor at that point, but he doesn't. And it's like,
yeah, he's just, I mean, it's just the way that Jason, I don't know if this is the same guy who plays Jason normally, but he's just like, the way he plays him with sort of a tisk vibe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
He's just like, I thought we worked this out, buddy.
I thought you knew. I keep killing all these people that you bring here.
Like, what part of this aren't you getting? Because there's that part where he's like, before he puts together that this is Jason Voorhees, this is his relative. This is like the undead spirit.
His name's Ian Voorhees. Yes, Ian. I always say Ian, but it's Ian Voorhees.
Ian Voorhees?
Yeah. It's also like, probably should change your name to Vorhees Real Estate is not going to sound
right. Right, yeah. And he's like, that is a really funny thing. He's like, because he's like, you'd think he would change the name, but I feel like he's stubborn about it.
He is. He's like, this was my name too. Why should I have to change my name?
Yeah, I'm not the crazy one.
But his business is like essentially failing because of it. That's part of it too. Whereas like, he can't make money because no one wants to buy from a relative of the Vorhees.
Right, but I feel like before this happened, Voorhees Real Estate was like #1 in the area or something.
Yeah. That's what it seemed like, because there's all those old signs and stuff that are just like crumbling.
Right.
Yeah,
and so all of the Camp Crystal Lake stuff like ruined that forever, and he's too stubborn to change it because like his side of the family, his branch of the family tree is too proud.
We're
like,
not.
I'm going to reclaim Voorhees. You're not going to do it, buddy.
Are you related to the guy who killed everybody?
No. Yes, I am. But
barely. His mom.
He's dead.
Mom. I don't know. I don't actually know what a second cousin is, if I'm being honest.
I think, I means like you can't date.
No. Right, I know that about second cousins because of this.
I always forget that too. Actually, I think they were kissing cousins. That's why Jason.
Oh, right. Don't kiss your cousins because you'll get.
Don't kiss your cousins, Shelbyville. But I don't know. So the whole movie is just basically them having a back and forth, like screwing each other over this property.
Which
And
is why I
it's
think
real
I
fun.
enjoyed it so much, because it is just
Yeah.
like, it's sort of it's a bit that goes on. It's like an SNL skit that goes on for 90 minutes.
It kind of reminded me of the war over the lady in Rushmore. It's just Max Fisher
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
Bill
yeah.
Murray.
Very much so.
It's just like there's a montage of just them screwing it. And like, because very early on, the realtor calls Ian, he calls the cops, he's like, you gotta come over here. And Jason just like pulls the cop out of the car and just machetes him in front of him.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and tilts his head like, what did you think was gonna happen here?
And he gave the little finger wag, the little Newman,
And there's a part where, because, like, Jason always kills whenever anybody's going to have sex. Like, there's the scene in the first one where I think it's Kevin Bacon in that first one,
Yeah.
like young Kevin Bacon. And he's about to have sex and he gets macheted. Or he just had sex, I forget. But I think he's shirtless and gets macheted through the bed or something. And, like, there's a part where, this is the part I was unsure about, was that he's like dating a woman who has a kid, right? But is that his ex that he's trying to get back together with, or is that just his new girlfriend?
I believe it's his ex, but like you said, it was a little
she's not in a
confusing.
ton of it, but she is in like she's like in the beginning and the end. She's
Yeah.
basically, unfortunately, another prop for this movie where it's like, she's only in there to exacerbate, certain circumstances, because he's trying to have a romantic evening at Camp Crystal Lake.
Yeah.
and and do all the nice stuff, and she's like, it's actually really scenic here, and like he's trying to like basically put the moves on her in a romantic fashion, playing music, and every time. And she starts to initiate like she wants to have sex, but Ian keeps seeing Jason through the window being like, as soon as you do that,
what's gonna happen, man.
It's gonna happen.
Out.
And so he basically ruins the date. He self-sabotages because he wants to keep her alive and wants to keep her from being killed by Jason. And she thinks she's like, this is because
not into it. Yeah.
Exactly. You don't want to have sex. What's wrong with me? And she's just like getting really
It's
frustrated.
not you, baby. It's Jason. It's like, Jason.
Jason's dead.
He's
Get
dead.
over it. I knew you're just another crazy Vorhees. No, I'm not.
Yeah. I'm the good one. It's what is Jason like? Why does he hate sex so much? Is it because he was a kid and he could never have it? He's just frustrated.
Well, I think he resents. I think the reason he died is because there was no lifeguard on duty, right?
Because they were having sex.
I assume because they were negligent, and so he punishes those who are, I thought that was always my thing. I think it's like either. I don't know if this created the trope of like. Well, also it happens in Halloween though too, right?
Oh, that's true.
Because there's like
I
that
think it's
topless
just
scene.
I think it's just because they're vulnerable. I think is the idea probably.
But I know that like in the original one, it's like I'm gonna punish the counselors at this summer camp because of the negligence that allowed Jason to die. And yeah, I think that's like the deal with Jason is that like he's just going to take it out on, the hot young teens because they represent the people who let him die.
I just didn't know if like the church or something had something to do with it. Like, well, let's.
Jason is a conservative Christian.
Yeah,
it is just like that would be a really crazy twist to it. It's like, well, of course I have to kill all these sinners.
They're having sex outside of marriage, and they're not using protection, which I also don't believe in.
It's like, well, what about thou shalt not kill? I'm already dead.
I passed that one. That's the first one. We moved on.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's weird to think of a lovable Jason, but that's sort of what and I feel like it was funnier than Freddy versus Jason, which like felt like it could be funny, but really wasn't. But it's like, there was. It all builds towards that investor dinner, like you said. And it's just like, at that point, I feel like that's like the midpoint of the movie where it's like...
Well, he realizes Jason is not going to gonna kill him, I think, at that point, right?
Right, for sure. And because at that, previously he's been like running from Jason and like trying, there's that sequence where initially after the cop gets it, he starts setting up like traps and stuff for Jason, like in like a weird version of Home Alone.
Yeah.
Like he like sets up a bear trap. And like, of course, this guy is like super dumb, and like, so like the traps are all setting off, and he's like clunking himself on the head with stuff.
It's funny. It's a funny scene.
That's good. I mean, like, he's like hiding in an outhouse and dives into like, sort of like in Slumdog Millionaire, he dives into like the basin of the outhouse and is like trying to hide from Jason, and Jason just opens the door and he like ducks in the shit, and Jason just sort of like you can't raise an eyebrow with a mask on, but he kind of does somehow.
It's like, what, are you hiding in shit?
Yeah,
even
Jason
I wouldn't
like
do
pretends
that.
he
And I
can't
live
see
in a
him, he
dumpster.
closes the door. It's just like, I'm embarrassed for you, dude.
Jason does feel shame. Is I think
This is the most human Jason has ever been as a character.
I like him. I think he's.
Yeah.
I like him.
Jason sort of goes back underwater. It's almost like Jason has this like sixth sense where it's like if he can feel there's like interlopers on his land, he's coming out of the water. Otherwise, he's going back underwater. And so, you've got Ian, and he's like yelling at Jason, and he's like, why do you keep doing this? You're ruining my life. You're killing all these people. Why are you like this? He's like trying to reason with this beast, and Jason just like submerges himself back in the water. And he's like, and that's when he has like an emotional moment. He's like, he breaks down, he like sits down at the water, and he's just like, look, I don't have anything. I don't want everyone to hate the Voorhees family.
Yeah.
I just want to make something for myself. You took everything from our family name. And like, you know, Jason can't really emote, but he's just sort of like, you can tell he's sort of like, they do this like slow, like, close up on his mask.
Yeah.
Like maybe he's considering it. And I forgot earlier when you said, when Ian is like trying to change the name of the lake, and Jason keeps not hatching, but macheteing the sign back to the original. He's like destroying all the new decorations and shit. That was really entertaining. Oh, is that?
We saw this then.
Come on.
You leave me out
Liberty
there.
Pibbis. What's his name again? I'm getting
Ribblety Pibbis. Ribblety.
Ribblety.
I said we'd come out there in a second to.
Come on, dude.
Issue. My hands are all greased up. Look at them.
No,
Look how
come
greasy
on.
they are.
We're trying to do the podcast now.
Let
It
me
was
just
fun and
touch you a
games in the
little bit. Let me
beginning.
just touch you a little bit.
Get away from me! No.
I
This
like
is-
you long. He's
no
got
means
long
no.
arms. You
I
go
do
for
not
pushing.
consent.
Ribblety, come on, get out of here. He'll come up. You can jack him off in a second, okay? Not now.
Oh, so this little bugger there.
Okay, no, we don't want these two together. This could only
This is a
end
bad
poorly.
idea.
You don't miss your little one. Oh,
Okay,
she's a little right one there, isn't she?
Okay,
Oh,
it seems like
Ribblety,
something
it's-
sexual is happening between
it's,
Dee Dee and Ribbledy
You
Glibbledy.
want me to take you all back to the cage? You got long arms too, don't you?
Okay, stop.
Oh,
Okay,
oh
take
my
this
God.
outside.
Guys,
Whatever's
get outside.
happening here, I'm not going to describe. Oh, wow, they got unclothed real
Oh,
fast.
shit.
Okay.
Oh, that's the good one, yeah. You the little baby, yes you are.
All right.
There we
I wish Jason would kill them now. I really do.
It's like they heard us talking about having sex, and then they started doing.
What is it with unholy creatures and sex? You know, it's just like
they just like to do it. I don't. It's so gross. It's like looking at a car crash. Like I can't look away, but it is really.
That was grosser than anything that was beamed into my brain during that movie, and it was pretty upsetting.
That hurt my eye more than the radiation that's clearly giving me a disease.
Okay, I'm feeling ill as a result of that, but I mean, it was a good movie. It was a good movie overall. I mean, like, they kind of do. It takes sort of like a weird turn that I don't know if I agreed with, because it was so much fun up till that point. But it's like they want Ian and Jason to work together to somehow save the property. And so, but it feels weird to even attempt to make Jason have like a heroic turn in some way.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's like they set up that there's like, you know,
it's like the grand reopening of Camp Crystal Lake, as if as if there hasn't been a million grand reopenings.
Yeah.
It's like to show off, look, everything's changed. It's fine. Everybody's welcome. Let's have a big old picnic.
He, in the first act of the movie, sent out all these flyers that's like, you know, to all the alumni. It's like, let's get together and show this place. You know, I want to bring back the good memories, and so, you know, share your memories with us, so it's not just
let's bury the hatchet, so to speak.
Oh my God, yeah, he shouldn't have used that expression. That was so funny. And so as a result of that, eventually some of the alumni get back together, and they're like, "Yeah, we really did have fun. Let's not." And so they, like, without his consent at that point, he's forgotten about that. He sent out this missive to all the people to try to get some like positive publicity. They show up and they're like, "We've organized, you know, a big reunion. We're all going to come back here." And he's like, No, you can't do that.
Terrible idea. Well,
and so
should have sent out the invitations, bud.
But and then Jason is trying so hard to have a change of heart because he really wants to help his cousin clear the family name. So then it becomes this thing where like Jason is constantly kill horny, but he's like trying to prevent himself from killing any of these like camp counselors who've come back.
At some point he's meeting people like he's the mayor of the town or something, and Ian's introducing him. He's like, this is Jason. He's changed.
Well, right, because he doesn't let him wear the hockey mask, and so people don't know it's him. And so, because he puts the what do you call it, the Texan guy's cowboy hat on him.
Yeah.
And like puts like a hood over his head or something like that.
Yeah. And I think he spirit gums like a beard on him too.
Like he covers him with accessories, and he's like,
he's almost more horrifying than actually just wearing a hockey mask.
Yeah, because he looks like some sort of like weird Robin Williams character with all these like bizarre prosthetics on his face. And it's just like Jason is like summoned and feels the urge to kill whenever these people are on the land. And so suddenly when all these people are there, he's just like, he's got to do something. So there's this weird thing where I don't know if it totally works, but like you remember in Weekend at Bernie's too, it was kind of that thing where it's like in that one music made Bernie's corpse dance, and in this one there's this song that Ian remembers that Jason liked as a kid, and so he starts singing
Tequila.
Yeah, exactly. He's like da 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 da, and so he's constantly singing that, and it just makes Jason like soothed, and so he's constantly, whenever Jason gets kill horny and is like reaching for the machete, he starts singing, and there's also this run of gags where Jason is constantly chopping into the air, and so to make it seem like it's part of the proceedings of these festivities, he'll like run in with a cake so that Jason's chopping the cake.
I was just chopping up cake. And then he says a line tequila, and everybody's like, "Yeah, let's have some tequila," which just makes everybody drunker. They're just getting drunker and hornier, and he's getting hornier for killing. It's a disaster.
At one point, like the point where they make Jason most human is that he's like, there's a girl who is like crushing on Jason.
Right, because
like,
he's the strong, silent type because he can't say words.
Right, he does something
so
at the party where some guy is harassing her. Some like, he's like, hey, why don't we hook up like old times? It's like, you were a creep then, you're a creep now. And Jason like is so kill horny, and Ian is distracted by, I think his ex is like, wow, you really are changing the brand. He's having this conversation, he's distracted, and Jason like grabs this guy like he's finally gonna kill him, and he throws him across the room, and the girl that he was harassing is so impressed that she's like, hey, why don't you come with me? And so that's my Home Improvement theme.
It's good. Yeah.
Jason's kind of like Wilson. You never see his face.
You never see his face. And he gives great advice if he can. Maybe this will help me fix my family situation, Jason. Thank you.
I would watch that too, Jason as a therapist in treatment with Jason. So he like pulls this girl off this, or she like leads him off to like a secluded part, and it's just basically becoming like doing all the stuff that's like an enticement to kill her in a normal Jason movie. She's like, what if we just started hooking up right now? And he's like, he's like, she's like, let's go swimming right now. We can go skinny dipping and no one will watching. Isn't it fun to go swimming when no one's watching? And he's like,
not in my home, not in my home.
and so he's gonna kill her, and Ian sees them out the window, and he's like, and he's not sure, and he's not gonna get there in time. But to keep himself from killing her, Jason stabs himself in his own hand.
Yeah.
And it just like freaks her out, and she runs screaming.
She's
away.
like, I didn't know you were that kinky. It's like, what? Yeah.
That guy's a freak.
He's a freak.
What was your first clue? And at that point, everyone starts freaking out, and Jason can't be controlled and starts. Yep. He starts
goes back to his old ways. Can't teach an old dog new tricks, you know.
And it sort of becomes a showdown between Jason and Ian at that point, because Jason's going for Ian's ex.
Yeah.
And Ian gets in between. And he's like, just do it. If you gotta kill someone, kill me. And so Jason chops him in the shoulder.
Yeah, that was really funny. I was like, he's not gonna actually chop him.
It's like, what?
What?
I didn't think you'd do it.
This would work.
That's what I do, bud.
What did you expect?
And he stalls for just enough time that the rest of like the police force hears what's going on, and they're like, we've been waiting since the last guy didn't come back, our patrolman. Well, this stuff happens every couple of years, and so they bring all this shit, and they basically blow Jason to shit with all of their like bazookas and crazy military force. And even so, Jason's not really dead.
It doesn't really affect him.
But he crawls back into the water sort of dejected. And they're safe. And his ex finally understands why he's been so cagey.
Yeah.
And then there's sort of like the 6 months later scene.
Well, what happens is he goes to court, and he's like, he essentially makes Crystal Lake a national monument or a national park, so he can get his money and have his he has the cake and eat it too.
Exactly. He makes it. They start doing like historical tours and like haunt tours. With they make it a historic landmark because of the famousness of the murder. It's like a Salem witch thing.
And he's making more money than ever, actually, which is nice.
Right, and and Jason's actually participating in scaring people away, and he's like sort of getting like what he wants out of it.
Yeah, it's like he's like in a cage, but it's like, and it's not clear if they're like maybe throwing him a person every now and then, but it seems like
it seems like it. It seems like
where'd little Bobby go? Oh, he wandered off. He'll be fine.
he'll be fine.
Are you sure? Because I'm
they have all
sure.
that meat hanging back there. I thought they were supposed to be like he gets his slashing out on the meat or something. I don't know.
think so. Yeah, because it has that like meat tunnel or the meat trees.
Yeah, we also have fresh sliced meat.
Oh, that's strange. Yeah, well,
not that piece. You don't want that.
you
piece.
don't want to eat that piece. Little too human.
So yeah, that's basically Tuesday the 28th, right? I mean.
I mean, this is out of 10 Vorhees, 10
out of
kids
10
having
Friday
sex and
the
getting
13th
killed.
says.
I would say 12 out of 13 Friday the 13th is.
Yeah. I really should be a perfect 13 out of 13, right?
It's a 13 out of 13. I take it back. It's a 13 out of 13. It's the best one. I feel like it's the best movie we watched from another dimension yet, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like it was the first non-bad movie. I mean, Heistopus was okay too, but I feel like I actually enjoy it. It wasn't a perfect movie, but I feel like it was so funny that I forgave a lot of like the weird narrative stuff.
I wonder if in this dimension, instead of making murder porn in the early 2000s, they made like comedy horrors like this in the early 2000s.
Right, and they tried with Barneyville, but it just didn't work.
Yeah, that was a nightmare. That was a fever.
that was legit nightmare fuel. That scared me. But yeah, I mean this shows that you can write a funny horror comedy. It kind of reminded me of like Tucker and Dale versus Evil and stuff like that.
Bit, yeah.
And whoever came up with this idea and thought of all these funny bits for it, I feel like they should get to write more horror comedy movies. I feel like they'd be really good at it. Whoever that is.
Whoever could be anybody.
For a lot of money. I mean, I'm talking.
She really took it out of me, that little ass right there.
Okay, no, we're not. We're not doing this. We're just. You're both fired. You're both fired. Okay, the stabbing's coming back. Okay, God. Someone's getting a little Jason friendly.
Form a union, you'll see. Oh, crap.
Okay. I support that wholeheartedly. I'm not a Bezos-like monster, but please take the weird demon sex outside.
All right, let's get back outside then, JD. I got one more goal for me. Yeah, the one with the long arms. It's fine.
Okay. Well, if you've got suggestions for made-up movies, send them to at Made Up Movies Pod on Twitter. I apologize for all the weird sex stuff this week. It's not normally like that. I mean, it is normally like that with us.
Well, it's not that gross. That was
it's not that. It's not as. I mean, it was grosser for us because we had to actually see it.
Very visceral.
I'm gonna have to spend a lot of time using a company kitty on OnlyFans later to get some.
I just wish
normal.
You got to write down what
stuff.
you spend. Is all. You got to write down what you spend and send it.
Well, I mean, it's not. I don't really want to. I get pretty focused on what's happening. Let's say, and I didn't think you want me touching the office supplies.
I get it.
But if you've got your ideas for funny movies like Tuesday the 28th, or really deadly serious movies like Opposing Counsel or Rogue Squadron, we got a lot of Star Wars suggestions, to be honest. In fact, we are thinking about starting a Patreon for our special ones that take a little bit of research. So that's something we might be playing with too. But yeah, go on our Twitter, at Made Up Movies Pod, and submit your suggestions for us. Now we got a bunch of suggestions, but we're always looking for new ones. Got some really funny ones coming up. And if you please like and subscribe and tell your friends and all that good stuff. And we really appreciate everyone who's listening. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Well, that's it. Okay, I can hear them outside.
Oh yeah. John.
Man, we gotta get a hose or something.
Okay, wow. That was worse than the turtle sex video.
Jesus
That's just.
Christ.
All right, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye.